Hello, I'm Cindy Arenberg Seltzer, President and CEO of the Children's Services Council of Broward County. Welcome to Future First, Focus on Broward's Children. Sound understanding of how to manage resources like money and credit is not a luxury. It's an essential tool, especially in these difficult economic times. Responsible money management is a key part of what adults can teach children, as long as they also have the financial literacy skills needed to be good role models. Joining me today to talk about some of the resources available to Broward County families through what we call a prosperity campaign are Marcia Barry-Smith, Executive Director of the BankAtlantic Foundation, April Lewis, Education Director of Consolidated Credit Counseling, and Germaine Smith-Baugh, President and CEO of the Urban League of Broward County. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
It's my pleasure. This is a topic that I always hear my mom's voice when it comes to financial literacy, because she started out with, Cindy, you've always got to pay yourself first. When I started making money, she said, pay yourself first, and that way you'll never have to worry. And she did a good job at that. But I think it's a little more complicated than that today. So tell us a little bit, why don't I start with you, Germaine, about the prosperity campaign, what we're doing to help parents and help adults understand how to manage their money.
Yeah. The Urban League of Broward County has always been involved in the idea of how do you help individuals to build wealth, prosperity on some level. The clients that we serve, of course, have many barriers, but one barrier that we try to eliminate is that of financial literacy. So through several of our programs, we definitely infuse the idea of how money management, credit repair. One of our more signature programs in this area is our individual development account program, where we're able to match individual savings 2-to-1 for the purposes of purchasing a home, completing their education, or starting a business. So that's one signature program that we have.
That's excellent. April, we use the term financial literacy like everybody should know what that means.
Right.
You know, I know finances, I get money, I pay it. I spend it.
Right.
What do we really mean when we talk about financial literacy?
You know, financial literacy really spans so many different topics, but most of the people that we come in contact with really need the basics. A lot of people, especially in Broward County and in South Florida, live paycheck to paycheck. And that's really the detriment to building wealth and moving on and moving up to better things. And especially in this economic crisis that we've been going through, it makes it more difficult if you don't have the savings. And I love your mother. I mean, pay yourself first. It sounds so simple, but people don't do it. I mean, we have thousands of clients all over the country, and there's no savings. You know, they just kind of use the credit for the emergencies and to get them through. So when you speak about financial literacy, it's the concept of, this is money that I've earned, this is money that I have. How do I best utilize that money for long-term goals, to succeed, to think about things that I want for myself and my family, and to accumulate wealth. And you know, wealth doesn't necessarily mean have $1 million. Wealth to everyone is individual. And if someone is making less money than someone else, their goal should be set at what's achievable for them, and to strive to get there and use the money management skills to get there. So it's very important for people to want to be educated and to go out and know that the resources are there. And like, this program is wonderful because it can lead people to the resources that are available.
Yeah, you don't have to be rich.
No.
In fact, it may be even more important to know how to manage your money if you're not rich.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Exactly. Marcia, talk a little bit about what the bank is up to.
Okay, we took a real broad perspective. We have, through the foundation, we have our Kid Power program, where we start financial literacy in the schools as early as grades 2, 3, and 4. And consequently, by starting it there, we're creating that interest and the self-confidence. Some of our kids, in fact, go home and tell their parents what they learned and how they should be doing it. And then, of course, we've aligned ourselves with different partners, because collaboratives are so powerful.
Yes.
And then we take it all the way through to our home buying process. As a CRA officer for the bank, I manage the residential lending that's done to persons of low and moderate income. In 2009 alone, over 25% of our home buyers were at or below 50% of the area median income, which takes financial literacy.
Right.
But it also takes something else. It takes self-esteem building, because along the way that erodes. Life happens, things happen. And we have what's known as the H2H Club. It stands for From Homeless to Homeowner, From Hopeless to Hope-Filled, Breaking the Cycle at Last. This program addresses the gamut from budgeting, financial literacy. It takes them all the way through rebuilding the self-esteem that they may have lost along the way. And we believe that the home bank is a process. So we teach them how to attain, how to maintain, and how to retain, so that everything is sustainable in the long term, along with their own commitment to stick it out.
I think it's really interesting, Marcia's point about making sure that we're running the gamut as it relates to financial literacy, whether it's very young children to kids, middle school, high school, young adults, and you go through that process. Because I think organizations like the Urban League that has the opportunity to impact so many different people in many different ways, where we are now challenging ourselves is how do we infuse financial literacy into all our conversations around self-sufficiency. So even if a family comes in for home buyer education or a job or whatever the list could be, how do you begin to talk to them about how they manage their money, how they're managing their credit, so that we continue to have the dialogue throughout the process?
And how to talk to their children about that.
Yes.
Consolidated credit, we have one of those wonderful partnerships to
Right.
talk to your children about finances.
Right, how to talk money with your kids. People grow up and a lot of parents think that money is a private thing and they shouldn't bother their children with dealing with the finances, or it shouldn't be part of their life. And I think financial literacy, people don't like to talk about money issues. It's very taboo. And so now as we're moving forward, and actually this recession has happened, I think it's top of mind. And I think one good thing that can come out of all of this is that people will become financially literate and not be afraid to talk about money issues. And kids are great. Kids are smart. Kids understand and feel if there's something wrong in the home. And if parents are struggling financially, I think it's far better for the parent to broach the child and say, we're okay, but we might not have pizza night as much because we're going to save for this goal, and put a positive spin on it. And kids actually like to help. If you say, can you think of ways around the house maybe we can save money, turning off the lights, helping around the house, kids get excited and they like to help the family, and then if they feel important, and they're part of the process. So I think it's important that parents really bring their whole family into whatever the goal is, the financial goal and how to deal with money. And it's very important for parents to be literate and for children. If you bring personal financial literacy in the schools, will only make for a better consumer or a better person financially when the child grows up. And at Consolidated Credit, we really are focusing one of our aspects on children.
Well, we've touched about 20,000 children in the school system in the last 3 years. And our managers, our branch managers, are trained to facilitate this. So this makes it a real personal sort of piece to it. But in addition, at the Homebuyer Club meetings, which are the third Thursday of every month, with one of our local community partners, MODCO, we encourage them to bring the children. And we say to them, let your children hear what it is going to take, because then they're part of building this for you. When they want the name brand item, you say to them, remember what the lady at the Homebuyer Club said? That this could mean the difference between a back porch and not. And we bring it into fundamentals. We teach them everyday lessons, like if you go to the supermarket for bread and milk, do not take a cart.
I got to remember that one.
You're bound to fill
idea.
it up.
Right.
So you may come out with things here and there, but don't take a cart. And they take these life lessons and turn them, and then you have the testimonials. You have the people coming back and saying, one day I was here just like you, wondering if I'd ever make it. We call this our caterpillar to butterfly story. And then we present them with a basket, and they tell about the struggle, and they talk about it, which makes it more real. Because a lot of our clients are people from self-sufficiency who are on Section 8, who are saving their money through this. And then we introduce them to programs to match those dollars for down payment. So they learn the term leveraging becomes just a slang word for them after a while. They understand what that means.
And the idea of, people are so afraid of math, and they don't understand how that's relevant in life. But when you really start applying that to money and compounding and all of that, it becomes a lot more real when those math skills turn into a house or an education.
Or starting a business.
As I listen to Marcia, I think about the times when I went to the IDA class and celebration, and those people who were able to accomplish those goals, and what great self-esteem builders it was.
I had the opportunity on Thursday to speak at American Express, and one of the individuals came up to me afterwards and said, I just wanted you to know that I know about the Urban League because I'm in your homebuyer club meetings. And I was like, oh, great. And then she said, and oh, by the way, they told me about the individual development account program, and I'm going to go meet them next week. And I just think it's really interesting. It's just a hope that I saw in her. She had 2 children. One was already in high school, and she has never owned anything. The most compelling story that I can remember, particularly in a home buyer part of it, and I think a lot of us who own homes, we take it for granted, the process,
so.
But it was a lady, a senior, who worked with us in our Seniors and Community Service program, where we would hire seniors, help them get their skills in a 21st century in order to get them into new jobs. And she had never owned a home. She was over 65 years old and never had owned anything in her life. We took her through the home buyer education program. She bought a condo. Then she turned around and got her 2 daughters to also purchase homes. So I think we have to understand just how impactful it can be to a family or to a community when we really get focused on helping people to build those financial skills, not just about them, but exponentially how it grows.
I think there's probably a lot of people out there who are thinking, wow, owning a home has not been such a great thing.
Right.
Gee, I've got bill collectors at the door. They're looking to foreclose on me. Let's talk a little bit about how you wind up in that situation or what you can do about it. I mean, you said you were taking a lot of people who were 50% below the median income, and yet they're staying in their homes?
Yes, that's correct. We've had a very, very limited number of delinquencies in our H2H group. Limited. And the minute they've been taught that the minute that it's starting to get hard or they see this coming, they call. And they call the loan officer that they dealt with before, because by that, after 3 years, this is no family. That's no longer a professional relationship. So it's had a tremendous impact that, yes,